Guys, this video's probably gonna make me lose subscribers. But before we get into it, welcome to the USL Insight, where we talk about things happening around the USL Championship. And if you're a fan, please give this video a like because it really helps with the algorithm so that we could get more exposure of the USL out there. But yeah, why don't we get into it in this video? I mean, it's gonna turn out to be political, even though I don't intend it to be. But I mean, that's just how we've gotten in the game. The game has been politicized in so many factors. And it turns out that last week, there was a bit of controversy in the sense of CBS was airing a game in Detroit City. And what they did was they changed the camera angles so that you couldn't see the supporter section. Why it was so controversial is because of the Palestinian flag. They were going to be waving it. And Detroit City has also been kind of categorized as the bad boys, especially their supporter section. They're kind of like the villains in the league. That's something that they kind of took on and said, yeah, we're going to be that. So it's kind of interesting to me that now they're crybabies. You know, they were like appalled that we're not going to be seen. The camera's not going to be on us. And yeah, I'm sure that does suck as a supporter, right? Especially the section. But if you guys are disrespectful and if you guys think that you're entitled to do whatever you want because you are the backbone of teams, I mean, newsflash, you're not. It's not necessarily just the supporter section where they make their money, where teams make their money. If you're going to use vulgar language, why is that such a shock that people are like, you know, we don't want to be around that. We don't want to see that, especially on national television, where it's a lot more, well, not necessarily a lot more, but it's a bit more like you have more eyeballs, obviously. That's why it's such big news that these games are going to be aired on there. They have rules. And one of those rules is you can't talk dirty. You can't use foul language. But people were trying to justify it and saying that, you know, that's just how they are. That's just the atmosphere. That's just what you're going to get. And the league, the networks should have known this because this is what they signed up for. And they knew this going into it. And I'm just like, what are you guys talking about? How did we come to that where we justify that, you know? Where we say, no, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. You can talk however you want. And there's no consequence. I mean, it just shows where we're at as a society. And it's sad to see. And then especially where in sports, it's supposed to be a kid-friendly show. I mean, that's what it is, right? That's what it's supposed to be, at least. It's surprising that people are saying that, no, they should be allowed to do that. They should be allowed to just be how they normally are. That's not how it works. It's not how the real world works. I mean, it's frowned upon if your job is disrespectful to a customer. If you start cussing at customers, I mean, think about the repercussions that would happen to you if you were doing that at your job. That's not going to fly anywhere. You'd be fired on the spot probably or later on. But the bottom line is you would be fired if you disrespected a customer like that. The network is trying to appease to their customers, and their customers are going to be, if you're advertising this as a family-friendly thing, that's what it's supposed to be, and it's supposed to be for everybody. Everybody's supposed to be able to do that. It's amazing that we can't think that that's okay, or like we can't think that, no, you know, the supporters section, they should do whatever they want to do, behave however they want to behave. And it's sad to see that people actually want that. They try to justify it. So that's what happened there. And then also with the Union Omaha game, apparently somebody was kind of asked, hey, you have two options. You either can stay and watch the game, but you have to get rid of your Palestinian flag, or you can choose to leave. And that person decided to leave. That person decided to get up and go. I mean, just that in and of itself is again, another political thing. It has been politicized so heavily in this country. I mean, I have different ideas on this issue because it's like, okay, first of all, are you there to watch a soccer game? So what does the current situation have to do with the game? You know, yeah, it's sad what's going on over there. Of course, people are dying. A lot of people are dying. But at the end of the day, like if I went to this game, the only thing I care about is I want to see my team win. That's it. I'm rooting for that club, whichever it may be. I know it happened in Omaha, but whichever club it may be, fill in the gap. I'm there wearing their t-shirts, their jerseys, the scarf, you know, everyone around me for the majority the majority of people are wearing the same thing. We're all rooting for that team. We all come together and we say, this is a team we're going to cheer for. And we're hoping that they're able to advance and to play good and to win. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what sports is supposed to be. We're all supposed to just come together and root for that team. You don't have to bring anything political or anything outside of soccer into that. But it's changed. It's changed drastically. You know, you have all of these people trying to advocate for something, all of these rights or whatever it may be. They try to bring it into the game. The more that it creeps up in, it's going to get worse. By the time you know, we're going to have people that are going to say it should be equality and you should have men and women competing in the same sport. sport. Right now we have men's leagues and women's league, but eventually if we keep allowing this, it's just going to go mixed. You can tell that politics is trying to get into the game. Yeah, so I'm like, what does the current situation over there have to do with the game? And also, just another thing, flags in general. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The pictures look amazing. When you have big sections with flags and just packed, everything packed, the people chanting in sync the songs. And it's really nice to see. But I've always thought, like, if I went to the game and someone has a huge flag and is waving that thing, how am I supposed to see the game? Or how is that person behind whoever's waving that flag? How do they watch the game? I don't know if that's something that, if there's been issues before, or if I'm not mistaken, San Antonio actually had banned flags and they just said, okay, yeah, you can bring them back. It can be distracting. It can be something that can interfere with someone watching the game. And a lot of times people think, well, you know, if I'm a season ticket holder or if I'm this or that, I have rights and I'm better than the first time family that comes and watches a soccer game. Owners have to think about this, right? They think about, they're trying to get new people because they're trying to get their team to grow. Obviously, the USL Championship, there's no doubt people are trying to get this league to grow. And it is growing. But sometimes if you have season ticket holders or if you have people who have watched this league forever and they kind of think like, well, no, this is our way. This is how we do things here. This is the culture here of the game. And a family just thinks like, man, they're rude there. They're obnoxious there. They don't respect anything around them. Why would anyone want to grow, or why would anyone want to go to these games? Why would the league grow? It wouldn't. People would just look at it like, I'm not going to that. So these are things that owners have to keep in mind. These are things that fans have to think in mind. If you have a platform for this league, think about that. So I find it weird that people are trying to say that this is censorship. It's censoring people. It's not censoring anyone. This is a business, and you have owners, and they have rules. But I mean, that's just how we are now. We think about these things like, if I went to an amusement park and I had to be this tall to ride, no one's being a heightist or like a heightism, you know, he has heightism. No, it's called safety. You know, you have to be this tall to get on because things can happen if you don't, you know, so these companies have rules. And one of those rules was, hey, you can't say that language here, or you can't do these things here, or you can't bring this stuff here. I mean, but people just want to cry about it now because of, you know, just how we are right now as a society. Like I said, a lot of politics everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's politics. And for a long time, people got into sports to get away from all that, to forget about that stuff. But that is creeping into the game. And so I just want to make this video to kind of show some frustration and hopefully encourage other people that if you're in a sports arena or anywhere and you just came to watch the game, it doesn't have to be political. You don't have to bring that stuff in here. Why can't it just be for 90 minutes, we forget about the outside world and we come together and we cheer for our team? And at the end of the day, if they win or lose, it's just a game. It's a very passionate game for sure, but that doesn't justify acting or behaving however you want to. Like, there's no rules anywhere. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you all on the next one.